as we all know, Trump has been found guilty of all 44 counts in the trumped up case against him. Now, what the Democrats and the rest of this country don't seem to realize is this is basically forcing the country into two camps right now. You got the liberal left and the conservative right. And let's be honest, this lawfare is not going to end. The Republicans are going to fall in suit. There are more red states than blue states, so we can expect a lot more indictments for individuals throughout the country and all the federal and local governments. It's going to get to the point where nothing will get done. And this is strictly my opinion. Nothing will get done, and at some point, we will slip into a hard separation, which is usually followed by the release of freedom seeds into the wild. And for those of you watching that don't understand exactly what freedom seeds are, they have a terminal velocity, a maximum effective range, and they're extremely unpleasant when they're released in your direction. I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea why we're here and how we got here. I'm just at the point where I just can't believe it's happening because I was at one time one of those blue-pilled guys who believed that it would never happen here. It's we're completely immune to the evils of the rest of the world. And little did I know where we actually slipped into a banana republic, I would say about 20 or 30 years back. It just wasn't as obvious as it is now, in my opinion, of course.
So this stuff that Pop's talking about, first of all, it was 34 counts, not 44 counts.
Oh, I fucked.
But that's fine. It doesn't really matter because they're all stupid anyway. Carries a potential of 136 years in prison. And given the fact that they convicted him in the first place, you can bet that they're going to do everything in their power to send Donald J. Trump to prison. Now, this whole thing is, one, obviously ridiculous. It is patently and obviously ridiculous. They're basically trying him for the whole Stormy Daniels thing that was put to bed like 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah, I believe they did pass a law so that she could actually come after him.
Oh, yeah, in New York?
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's the case.
Actually, that was for the other one, the crazy psycho lady that's...
The one that obviously nobody would sleep with?
The one that said rapé is sexy to Cooper Anderson.
Yeah, the psycho.
Yeah, that was the first one. And actually, there was 2 signed sworn documents by Stormy Daniels saying that this alleged affair never happened.
That doesn't matter because what we've got is a banana republic. So.
Yeah, paying people to shut their fucking pie hole is not a crime. Number one. Number two, these at most, if there were ordinary people getting tried under these 34 whatever charges, they were misdemeanors and high misdemeanors. Somehow they were converted to felonies.
Somehow.
I don't seem to understand how or why that happened.
Don't be ridiculous.
And also,
Bolsheviks.
Yeah, there's been so many cases, my mind is starting to blend them all together.
Yep. Yeah, and we also have to remember that the DA in New York City, if I remember correctly, and if the numbers are right, out of all of the felonies that were happening inside New York City, 60% of them got downgraded to misdemeanors.
I think the number was actually higher than that, Jim.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, actual serious felonies up to and including murder were downgraded to misdemeanors. But somehow Trump has been brought up on 34 felony charges for allegedly giving money to a like D-lister sex worker porn star thing, whatever the hell she is.
Well, now, with the current one,
yeah,
where he was convicted on, I don't understand. I mean, yes, he's in charge of the corporation, but you and I both know that as a leader, you can really only effectively lead between 7 and 21 people, depending upon your skill set.
Yes.
All right. So he is way the hell up here. How many levels of mid-level management between him and where this check was cut?
I would say a minimum of 3 to 5.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say somewhere around 6 to 8. So I have a few more than you, but my thing is this: just think about this. As a CEO of any corporation out there, you are now in the crosshairs of any government in any state to take you down for some bullshit that happened within the corporation, which you did not have direct visibility over. And in this particular case where Trump was convicted, the key witness is a convicted felon, plagiarist?
Which one?
Was it Cohen? Was his name?
Every single one of them was. Cohen was a convicted felon.
Yeah, and he embezzled like a minimum of $60,000,
something like that. These people don't care. What you're missing is both you and I are trained to play by the rules. We automatically assume that everybody is going to play by the rules. These people do not play by the rules at all. They have no intention of it. And I see a lot of stuff flying around about when this started. Here's what I think about when all of this started. It's been going since Herbert Marcuse entered Columbia University in 1932. For those of you who don't know who he is, Herbert Marcuse was one of the founders of the Frankfurt School. Now, he gummed up the works really bad. He started feminism. I wish we had found him when we first started Second Class Citizen.
Yeah.
He's the one who's got the women in front of academia in 1976, 1977.
Okay.
Herbert Marcuse was the guy who opened the door for women, as it were, so that they could do the feminist thing that they're doing now.
Yes. Wait. You mean the feminist door to social, the communism and
yes,
socialism?
Those are the ones, the very same.
Yeah. Okay.
The very same.
Well, let's just be honest. I mean, this whole trans thing, which brought in by the feminists want this. They wanted equality, and then it came to equality of outcome. Well, that is communism. Straight up.
Yeah, it all is. All of the whole thing is.
Yeah.
So this kicked off in earnest when George Bush 41 said in, I think it was 1988, when he first got elected, he talked about a new world order. And everybody's like, oh, hey, he's giving one of those speeches. This guy was the director of the CIA, which we now know is the action arm of the State Department, which we now know is probably the most treasonous organization in the country.
You're talking about the one that's supposed to operate outside the country, but somehow they're operating inside the country.
That's the one. That would be them. George Bush said that. I think that was the kickoff for what we're seeing now. Not the whole thing, just the portion we're seeing now where the United States gets dismantled. Because that's when things started to get fucking weird. Was right around 1988. You started to see more of the stuff down in South America where they were sending you guys down there, but not letting you really do anything.
The counter drug stuff.
Yeah, because you could have stopped that crap.
Well, here's the thing.
If they had cut you loose and let you write your own plans, could you have effectively stopped any of that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is the way it works. It was the same thing in Vietnam. You have
correct.
you give them the mission, you tell them what you want, you give them the equipment and all the support they need to get the mission done, and let it happen.
Yes.
You don't sit there and rein people in like, oh yeah, you can't bomb the North because you're killing too many civilians. War needs to be how it's supposed to be. Savage, brutal, no compassion, no mercy. It needs to be so fucking vile that we don't want to do it. That's how war should be waged, and that is how you win. Period.
Yeah.
You have to get fucking medieval. I'm starting to get spun up. All right.
That's okay. That's absolutely. It goes all the way back to like 300 BC. One of the kings of Sparta before Leonidas, it was like two kings before him, said in this treatise on war that he wrote, war should be short for two reasons. They should be as brutal as possible so that you win, and they shouldn't teach your enemy anything about war. Because when you protract a war, you're teaching your enemy how to fight.
Correct.
You're teaching that enemy how to fight you. The longer you go in that war, the more you're teaching them how to fight. And now look where we are. When did that stuff start? In like 83, 84, really?
What, we're talking the counter drug stuff?
Yeah, under Pablo Escobar. That's when it first kicked off.
It started really ramping up in the late 70s, 79, 80-ish.
The coke trade started with a couple of guys out
Yeah.
of Peru or Chile.
And didn't we have the
Pablo
CIA?
Escobar picked it. Yes.
They were delivering cocaine
Yes.
for their secret budget and
Yeah.
selling it to, yeah. I have no idea why
whole
these
North
people are
America.
allowed to get away with this shit. But this is not the first shit show an alphabet agency has done.
No.
We have the ATF just shot a dude in his house on a no-knock warrant. Nobody wore body cameras. They put tape over the ring bell, the ring camera, and literally just, kicked his door down. And like anyone, you show up to defend your home and your loved ones, and they, I believe he got one shot off and hit a dude in the foot, and then they shot him in the forehead.
Yeah.
We had the same problem with Ruby Ridge, and then we had the one in Waco, Texas, where they didn't just they were going after Koresh, but they wound up basically burning the entire compound to the ground and killing dozens of people.
I think it was like 92 people, and a lot of them were women and children.
Yes. Yeah, and there's been nobody's done shit about that.
There's the Lavoy Finicum shooting.
Yep.
Where they ran him down.
What about all the fucked up experiments that?
Yeah, the list goes on and on.
It goes on and on.
We need the rabbit video. We need because rabbit holes.
Yes,
rabbit holes all over the goddamn
Oh my
place.
god, we keep falling in the rabbit hole.
Falling in the rabbit hole. So, with Trump's arrest, you have now opened the door for the Defense Department or the Justice Department to do whatever the hell they want. Merrick Garland said it today during an FBI interview that Pop and I were watching while we were filling our faces. He sat there and said to the Senate subcommittee on the budget for the FBI, we have a program. We're still 3 years later arresting all of these people who were in Washington, D.C. on various charges. And the senator says to him, the Supreme Court said that the charges you used against them were improperly used. What do you have to say to that? Well, we're still arresting all the people. They're going to keep arresting people.
Yes.
They're going to keep arresting people. This is not going to stop. You've got a full-blown Stasi going on in Washington, D.C.
Well, hang on. It's going on, and it's been going on for a while. They've just hit it well.
Yes.
All right. This is nothing new. I mean, I could say like Ruby Ridge was a Stasi fucking operation.
1992. They deliberately set him up. They were trying to force him to sell some other guy a sawed-off shotgun.
And he didn't want to participate.
He wanted nothing to do with it. He just wanted to go to his compound and be left the hell alone.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this is an exasperating subject because it's so obvious what's going on. This whole thing is going to spiral very, very badly now that Trump has been formally charged and is going to be sentenced now. I think he's sentenced on June 11th.
Yeah, something like that.
July 11th, 4 days before the RNC.
Yep, July 11th, 4 days before the Republican National Convention.
Yep. And I know there's a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, he's going to win on appeal." Look up the
how long does that fucking take?
That and look up at who the judges are in the Court of Appeals. Tell me Trump is going to win on appeal.
Hey, Jimmy, 2 more weeks, man. Trust the plan.
Oh, yeah.
Trust the plan, Jimmy. 2 more weeks.
86D chess. Trust us. No thanks.
No, thank you.
I can't believe how many people fell for that Q LARP. So from the second it took off, I knew that was a LARP. It's somebody inside the community who knew what they were talking about, but were obviously BSing their way through all of it and just randomly making stuff up.
Yes.
And randomly connecting dots. You can connect any 2 events. You can find a touch point between any 2 events. Your mom freaking frying fish in a frying pan and the downfall of some banana republic in South America.
Yeah.
I can sit down and find 2 points there somewhere that prove to you that because my mom chose to cook bass instead of salmon that night, that country fell. That's the kind of manipulative bullshit you can do if you know how to handle statistics and information.
Yeah, which I know how to. Yeah. I know how to massage the numbers. I'm not an expert at it yet, but I understand it when I see it.
Yeah.
But my thing is this: do we have any historic example of something similar to this ever happening? I think this is like a new kind of thing.
This is new because there's never been a country like America before.
Okay, yeah, well.
There's never been a country like America. America is basically 50 tiny little independent countries with a concierge service called the federal government, or at least that's how it was set up to be.
Yes.
Now that federal government has become the monster and is now trying to take over the states, and unfortunately, a lot of the states are going along with it because they all have memberships at Davos.
Yes.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.